The Amazing Digital Circus, more like the Amazing Disappointment Circus, am I right? So TADC recently just ended its theater run, and after rewatching the show and the final, I came to the conclusion that it was fine. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, it was fine, and after bullshit the fandom pulled, the real question we should be questioning is that, was it really any good in the first place? Now before we get to that question, for like they, three people who have never heard of this show, TADC is the A group of humans trapped inside a circus-themed virtual reality simulation where they are overseen by an erratic artificial intelligence while coping with personal traumas and psychological tendencies. The show was inspired by the primitive computer-generated imagery of the 1990s, as well as that short story I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. And well, the rest was history, and as a result it spawned what might be the most annoying and entitled fanbase to date, with many controversies that would be too big to cover in this video, and I am pretty sure you have heard about all this before, so even though I am pretty sure I already pissed off half, I guess I have to talk about that animation. While the animation from episode 1 was fine, not terrible but not great either, from episode 2 and onwards the animation for the show improves heavily with time. That's all I have to say about the animation, and now let us talk about the characters. The characters are just archetypes. What you see is what you get, and not much else. Unfortunately, only 2 out of the 7 characters get any actual development. Let us start with Pomni. Pomni is fine. She the audience's surrogate for most of the show. She just the only thing that she has going for her is her hyper-realistic panic attack. Hera, she just anxious for about like 2 episodes before it has quickly forgotten, and she becomes as bland as paper, and whatever goal she had in trying to escape the circus just abstracts. See what I did there? And as a result of this, she becomes the therapist of the group, and that's all she does. Ratoga was okay. She's the group mom of the group, and she serves her purpose. She does have some mummy issues that are talked about from episode 5 and onwards, but she starts off as the mom of the group and stays that way until the very end. Gangle is whatever, she's the shy one and gets the most abuse from Jax, who we get to later, and is the emotional one, and she stays that from start to finish. We do get some backstory from her that she wanted to become a manga artist but was forced to give up on that dream to work at a fast food chain. And that has all we get from her, and even then if you remove that fast food worker story, her personality will still be the same. Subal is the sarcastic, rebellious one that has I don't care about anyone attitude, but deep down she's a softie, and she stays like that until the end. We have some backstory on her being a bartender, but that has it, and her body dysmorphia thing she has in episode 3 is just never mentioned again after said episode. Kinger is my favorite character in the show, and the only character I am slightly invested, but even then he's just an archetype. He's the wacky guy who does wacky things, but it turns out that he a wise guy who knows way more shit than he knows, and say it with me folks, he stays that way until the very end. Sure, Hen has his moments when he mentioned his wife's passing and the fact that he was an C&A worker, but if you removed the fact his wife is dead, it wouldn't change his character. And considering the fact that it has revealed that he, along with everyone else, are revealed to be A, and the fact that it has just brushed over, and the fact that Scratch is mentioned in episode 8, but is never mentioned again after this, just proves my point. Kane is alright. He's the only character to actually developed a little bit. He starts as the happy-go-lucky guy who's in charge of the circus, but as time goes on, but after everyone gets rightfully pissed at him in episode 7 for lying to them about an escape route, Among others things, he goes insane and tortures the main characters, but before he can kill them, he's accidentally deleted by Kinger, and that should be the end of him, right? Well, no, because Kane is suddenly alive despite being deleted by Kinger. They really didn't have to bring him back, but he's the fan favorite, so he has to stay. Logic be damned. Jax is probably the most interesting character in the entire show. He's an asshole. He pushes people away when they try to get him to open up. He bullies Gangle. He's a misogynist dickwad. He made two characters commit what was essentially suicide, and I could go on, and his backstory actually fucking matters because we see how his backstory changes him. And look, I don't mind Jax becoming the main character in the final, but the problem is that he's low-key forgiven for all the terrible shit that he did, like boo-hoo. Your parents got a divorce, your mom became a piece of shit, and that you've made have killed her, and you ended up homeless. That does suddenly mean you should be forgiven for what you did, especially when everyone basically tried to help you. The final was funny, Gus. I have a few complaints, mostly with the whole Scratch situation where he just built this game just so he can escape a tumor he has is never mentioned again. The fact that almost all of the characters' lives got better when Jax abstracted and now gets to sit in a pillow fort for all eternity should tell you everything. Kane not being dead. The fact that it has revealed that everyone in the circus are brain scans from C and A Asperset, and that their human selves are out there living their best lives, and they don't even get mad. They don't start questioning if everything they felt up until that point was pointless, and also wasn't the whole point of the pilot was that humans were trapped in the digital world. Why did it change from that to A, thinking that they are human just to find out that their brain scans of their respective humans that just came out of nowhere? There was no build up to this twist at all. Now I know that I already pissed off at least half of the TAD fandom, so to make sure I don't get lynched or anything, I am going to talk about things I like in the show. Like said, the animation is great from episode 3 and onwards. The character designs are interesting. The concepts, while not explored, are generally interesting. That ending credits, where Gangle and Subal were fucking, was kind of funny, and that it. Now let's talk about the lore. It doesn't matter. Everything up until the final is pointless. The abstracted characters, the exit, Kinger as a developer, the C and A. I have nothing to say about this section because even back then I really didn't care about the lore. And the fact that we were promised a character drive-in show only for it to become the Jax show plus with a hint of some trauma dumping session. There are many plot points that the final leaves off, and if we talk about everything single one of them, we might be here all day. Plus someone already made a video about this show, but I will talk about the ones I care about. What's the point of mentioning Scratch if he's never mentioned again? What's the point of mentioning that Kinger used to work as a developer at C and A if it didn't matter? Why did everyone get their problems solved off screen? Sublease dysmorphia, Gangle and Sublease friendship plus romantic relationship. Why did Gangle wanted to work at a fast food despite having a not-so-good history with, say, fast food? And at questions that will never be answer. Now for the question you've all been waiting for. Was the amazing digital circus as good as we know? While I wouldn't call this show bad, it's not as good as everyone said. It was more evident in my rewatch for this video. And it was also not worth the drama and controversy that this got into. In conclusion, TAD is not a good show. While it does have its moments, it has entirely ruined by the fact that characters other than the obvious get little to no development, even with their tragic backstories. The awful fandom that this show shitted out, and the fact that it has just one of many stories about creators not being built for the internet and in the Ritter's chair. and having to learn the hard way about
You, my
internet
friend,
fame
stumbled into an
and the
incredible
task
world
all
of
I
wonders,
have
where
to say
anything
about
can happen.
tags.
I'm
If
fine with doing
I,
whatever,
Dun-chi,
as long
upload
as I get
within
to
the
see
next
funny
2
things happen to
weeks,
people.
while
After a while, you start to realize that